Okay, I'm sorry. So my iPad died. So this is part two. So what I was saying was, whenever you're dealing with any type of mental illness, don't let anybody make you feel ashamed, because, like I said, a lot of times when we deal with mental illness, it's not that we've done something or there's trauma or things like that. Sometimes it's just that we have, sometimes our neurotransmitters in our brain are misfiring. Like me, I have brain tumors and things of that nature. So it's not necessarily trauma or all of that causes me to have to deal with depression. Some of it comes from grief. Some of it comes from, my brain just having to go through so much trauma from having brain tumors and brain surgeries and several strokes and radiation to the brain and all of that. So today was kind of rough. Today was rough. I just really just got up, got a shower, and fixed me something to eat, and I try to share as transparently as I can about my struggles, or I don't even want to call it a struggle. I just want to say about how I deal with depression, because some days I can win and sometimes I don't, and I'm never ashamed of the times I don't win, because I know if I just keep fighting, it's always going to be in my best interest to keep fighting. So it doesn't matter if it looks like I'm winning or losing. I know in my mind, if I keep fighting, there's always going to be a chance that I'm going to win again and win again, And so this morning, started last night, I was just really feeling kind of bummed out, about not being able to get my eye surgery just yet. And I'm like, $3,800 is not a lot of money. Why can't I just get that amount of money, get the eye surgery? So I was really feeling bummed out. Woke up this morning, still feeling bummed out. Tried to get up, couldn't get out of bed, just threw the covers over my head, and I was just like, you know what? I've prayed, I've cried, I've sold, I've prayed, I've cried, I've sold, I've spoke things into the atmosphere, I've done all of that. And I'm just like, okay, God, what else I got to do to see some manifestation? So I was kind of feeling like that, and it just started weighing on me heavy, 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 heavy. So my daughter, she was off today. She was like, did you eat something? I was like, well, I ate a handful of Cheez-Its, that's not food. So, so then I finally got up and got my shower, and I was like, let me go in here and fix something to eat so that I can at least try to come back a little bit. I let my kale get cold. I'm gonna warm my kale up a little bit while I finish talking to you guys. So, one thing I want you guys to know is that never be ashamed of anything you have to go through. Never be ashamed of it, because that's the biggest fight. If I don't even want to say the enemy and all of that, because a lot of people don't subscribe to Christianity and all of that. I just want to tell you that if you allow society to make you feel unwhole or unworthy, or like I said earlier, like something is wrong with you because you struggle with any type of mental illness, then you need to find safe places where you can express yourself. Always keep a good therapist, good psychologist, good psychiatrist, a good psychotherapist. Always keep those people on speed dial, because a lot of times you can get professional help before you can get help from family or friends or associates or whatever the case may be. I find sometimes with me, sometimes I can get more positive reinforcement from strangers than I can from people who say that they know me, from people who say they love me and all of that, but be that as it may, you have to find whatever works for you in your battle, in your walk or whatever. Do what's best for you. Stop letting people tell you, oh, here's another thing I want to sidebar on. I've seen people, especially in black church, tell people you don't need medication. You know, all you need is prayer. You need the Holy Ghost. Let me tell you guys something. You guys better stop doing that, because you all are gonna. If people start suing some of these pastors and stuff for telling people to stop taking their medications, y'all will stop trying to practice medicine without a degree and all of that. So, if you are prescribed medication for any type of mental illness or anything else, please take your medication. Please, ma'am, please, sir, take your medication. Mental health medication, those are medication you cannot just stop and take yourself off of, because of the way that it hits the brain. You know, you and that's not something you want to play around with. So I get walking by faith. I get all of that. Trust me, been there and done all of that. But at the end of the day, you're talking to people who are not medically trained. You know, it's when, okay, y'all got the Holy Ghost and all that, y'all Christians and all of that, but that does not give you the right to pretend as if you are medically trained when you know you're not. Okay? So, I just wanted to come back because my first video cut off because my iPad died. So, I want to just talk to you guys while I was making me something to eat. Like I said, I was kind of struggling today. And so I'm just getting up, got my shower, and eating for the first time today. So this guy on TikTok, I think he does CMOS, and he talks about a lot of healthy foods and stuff. And like I said earlier, the foods that he was talking about, I already eat. But I didn't have any, so I went and I sent my daughter to get kale and get me some broccoli. And you guys know these are foods that I already eat because you see me eat them all the time. Those of you that are regular followers, particularly if you follow me on Facebook, you know that these are foods I eat all the time. I eat them raw, I eat them cooked, I eat them in soups, you know. I eat them as snacks. So I'm going to end this video. This is part 2. I just want to share with you guys that people think depression has to look a certain way. But people who go through depression, there is no look, you know, because like I said, I'm just being able to get out of bed for today. Just now getting to where I can even want to eat, you know. So depression doesn't have a look. It doesn't have a personality. You know, it can affect anybody at any time. So I would not really give much credence to people who say, well, you can't be saved, or you can't be a Christian, you can't be this, or you can't be that if you have any type of mental illness. Let me tell you guys something. Don't listen to that, because you already got enough issues to worry about. So then people tell, oh, that's demonic, oh, that's this. So now you're going to think, not only do I have to struggle with mental illness, now I got demonic, I'm demonic too. So I think we need to find a way in the Black community to talk about these things that do not demonize people. And that's why so many people go into hiding when they are diagnosed with depression, PTSD, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, and all those other things that people get diagnosed with. ADHD, you know, adult ADHD, all of those things. Now, I don't have all of those. I have some of those, but certainly not all of them. But those are some of the top tier mental illnesses that people like to try to demonize other people for having, when in fact you don't know the first thing about it. You know, I know more about it because number one, I've lived with it, and then number two, that is my course of study. Psychology is my course of study. And then of course, by me being a brain tumor patient, I study extensively the brain. So there's not a whole lot people can tell me when it comes to how to deal with depression and all of that, because I study what I need to know so that someone else can't come to me and make me feel, you know, demonized, or make me feel like, oh, something wrong with you, or you off. You know, you can't make me feel like that. Even when I share my story about depression or anxiety or having adult ADHD, you know, so, or PTSD, you know. So those are the things I deal with. you know, and I think I deal with them most gracefully, you know. But it's not a big subject that we like to talk about because we expect for it to have a certain look, and we want for people to look a certain way that have it. I'm not gonna go out like that. I'm not gonna be unkept and look raggedy just for y'all to feel good about yourself. I'm not gonna do that. You know, people tell me all the time, you don't look like a brain tumor patient. You don't look like you go through depression and all this. Well, what the hell you want me to look like? I'm gonna look like me. I'm not gonna be unkept just to satisfy black people. You know, black people are the only people that say that kind of stuff to me. You know, when I meet other people, they like, oh, congratulations, you're doing well. Keep fighting the good fight. You know, I get so much encouragement from people I don't even know. You know, but when I try to come to my own, it's always something, you know. And I think at this point in my life, I'm just tired of trying to prove to people that what I say I go through, I actually go through. And just because I look the way I look, it's because I take care of me. That's why, you know, and if you take care of you, you won't look like what you go through either. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to come and share. Depression doesn't have a look. It doesn't have a personality. You know, so we can't base how people look on what we think they should or should not be going through, you know. So, but like I said, I was just feeling some kind of way today because I'm really bummed out about not being able to get my eye surgery. You know, my eyes are getting worse and worse and worse every day. So I was kind of depressed about that yesterday and today. And I wanted to share that. And I wanted to encourage anyone that deals with depression, you know, don't feel like you got to do it alone, because you're not alone. Okay, I'm gonna eat my food before it gets cold, and maybe I'll come back later on and talk to you guys some more. Okay, all right, bye bye.